timing oriented, and at some point in the game, Secret's going to start to abuse that, because if they just lose 1 or 2 heroes against a Chrono, Navi no longer has any catch, and they can abuse that factor. But if he doesn't go for the Blink Dagger, that means the Chrono that we talked about, how crucial it is, you need the positioning for it at the same time. Like, Secret have ways to deal with you if you try to initiate from a long distance in ward vision. They've got the Gust, they've got the Lion Hex, they've got the Doom, all really good counters to it.
And a good way is countering out the Blink as well. Scorched Earth, Treants, the Plague Wards. There are so many ways that maybe General would need to reposition himself multiple times to try and get that Blink utilized correctly. Well, Eternal Envy, level 11's up. There's the second point in his ultimate, and he's got his Morbid Mask, so kind of leaning the way of farming for the next 10 minutes, maybe a little bit less, but his team definitely have a lot of firepower behind them. There's Puppey. Is that actually going to be a Vlad for Puppey and not the mech? Because he's saved up a hell of a lot of gold.
I still think mech is an okay idea, but I'm pretty sure this is just what Puppey was doing, which is the standard buckler into the Vlads. Because Vlads works out really well for Doom, just because the one area of weakness for Doom is both mana regen and the fact that you don't have the best armor pool to work with, and it kind of shores up a lot of the weaknesses of Secret to begin with. So I could see him just kind of going for like a mixed match of items. I know he was a really big fan of the buckler at the Shanghai Major, and a lot of people said, well, why don't you upgrade it into anything? And I think his logic is just that it's really cost efficient as an item, and it kind of gives Doom what he needs. Like, free armor helps out your team for the straight up pushes. We saw how effective it was when they went for the tier 1 bottom.
Especially against the DP with all that physical damage from Exorcism. So many of those ghosts flying around. Where are you heading to? OD, DTR. I mean, Aegis is still up for a little while. He's got the Blink Dagger available in a couple of seconds, but again, Weirheart is on the money with these Plague Wards, placing them out, giving vision, and knowing exactly what Navi are up to. But Eternal Envy doesn't know exactly what they're up to, because there's a couple of heroes actually plunging their way down. Oh, maybe he does. Maybe he does, realizing that there's only 3 spotted mid, and there's danger incoming. Great TP back towards his tier 2.
Yeah, he just game sensed that really well. He knows that there's not a whole lot of protection there, and nobody from Navi aside from the 2 cores mid are showing. It's really easy for just art style plus general to be able to kill the Drow Ranger because of how weak she is, 1200 HP. And they're going to go for the mid tier 2 tower push, and I think this is the right idea, just because you want to be able to use your ultimate timings when you can, especially when you've got the OD that has an Aegis. But he's immediately going to TP top, go for Misery, who's now run out of mana, and this should be a free kill for him if he can find him.
Phase boots, little jukes. There's a Sandy's Eclipse here if he really needs it. Just did you run where he's gone? Oh my god, Misery, have you really hidden yourself in the trees here? He goes to the east, he goes to the west, he finds him, and Ditira not gonna get fooled so easily by Misery.
At the same time though, Misery got what he came for, which is that tier 2 tower at top, which is crucial for him to be able to push in. And this is the item build actually that I was gonna prescribe, is just go for the drums and then go for the Midas, back for it. You have the stats, you can help beef yourself up a little bit more, keep yourself alive a little bit longer, deal a little bit more damage, but at the same time, they can kind of sense that they've lost a lot of the control that they might have had with the Doom early on. So you might as well take the game a little bit further.
Will EE be able to game sense this one though? Artstyle General, they've got the Chrono and the Impetus damage as well. Artstyle, they've running low on mana, and Eternal Envy's actually tanking through this a fair amount with a Gust back. He cannot TP away because of Artstyle's damage output, but the rest of his team, Impetus, oh, he actually turns back to try and take the limited amount of damage for the turnaround. Misery TP's in with a Sprout's vision. They've got the Doom onto General. 1 for 1, not the exact result that Secret were looking for, but Navi, are you happy with that trade?
Yeah, because you just got 4 heroes to show on the map at bottom 2. And if Artstyle doesn't die here, that would be pretty bad to happen. As Pylai doesn't get the stun off, the Purge already comes out, and ooh,
3-man
here comes Dendy.
You'll scepter up, and the Spirit Sudden back onto 2. Weehar and Pylai both caught with a big ultimate from Weehar back onto 3 with Finger of Death onto
Dendy's
Dendy.
getting real low.
He's raining an HP back from Puppey, but it's not enough. With Ditira blinking aggressively forward, the Astral to try and save his teammates, the Courier just like wandering around looking for his master, but Dendy is dead.
And even with Pylai's missed stun to lead that fight, Navi, they couldn't really do anything just because they had to use the False Promise onto the Enchantress, which is not the target. I almost feel like he should have just held it, because Dendy was much more worth it for them. And they're gonna try to use the Fortune's End on the creeps if there's simply too many, and that's gonna be a free push for Secret. And what could have just been a 1 for 1, and maybe even better for Navi, ends up costing them their tier 2 at bottom. Definitely not worth it positionally.
And Misery's doing a great job, you know, as soon as that fight's over, take the tier 2, straight back up the top, farm enemy jungle, maybe push out with the treants once he summons them across as well. But General, I think you're right, man, he's saving up a lot of money here. Going for that Blink Dagger, that's going to be what he aims towards, while All-Star's Dragonlance. And now with another Ogre Club. Aghanim Scepter. This Enchantress is going to do a hell of a lot of damage, but it's Misery that's actually scouted out, and he turns back greedily, trying to farm, but the vision from the Sprout not going to be good enough. Arstar just needs to get into range, and when the Dragonlance available, he'll be in the perfect prime position, again, to kill off Misery.
Yeah, and they've done a really good job at delaying and fighting around General's ultimates and not having to waste DP ghosts early on. And that's a really good positive sign for them, but at the end of the day, they want to get a little bit more aggressive than they have so far, and losing Dendi at bottom definitely kind of slowed down their timings. And Secret are taking full advantage of that. Envy's just power farming as much as he possibly can, playing pretty greedy. Weeha's doing the same thing in the jungle. Puppy's in a similar position. Everyone's just kind of farming as much as they possibly can before the next engagement.
Yeah, you kind of know that next Roshan's going to be the next big fight, at least Navi. I'm going to try and scout out Tsuneko. Secret, no, it's not up yet, but 30 seconds until the big man returns, and Oracle, sit yourself in there. Nope, go back, go on, go back in there. Just sit around and wait, see what happens. Well, Misery, where's he at? He had a treant in there not too long ago, but he's not going to spend his time re-scouting out the Roche pit. Navi, they're desperate. They really want this Roshan. They've already got High Ground Ward watching for the advance. And Team Secret, if they do come down this ramp, while every single member of Navi is over in this third of the map. While, again, Misery top, Eternal Envy, 3-man farming the jungle. They're just trying to gain value while they know... You kind of know that Navi's over there, right? Just waiting for it.
And we now has the Aghanim Scepter, which is going to make these fights around that tight area really brutal, especially if you can get it off. And General's going to spot the Roshan is up. Navi, they really want this to be able to keep down some of the key tier 2 towers. Like, I think the bottom one
is risky, though. Wildwing Ripper is out from Enchantress and Puppy. He's been revealed, but there's
no doubt. They really have to be careful of Weeha's ult.
And the Purge is coming through. Arstar is slowed down. Puppy's still looking for a target to doom up the Gust onto Ditira. No orbs for him, but the jump forward. Oh, that General! Eternal Envy, Weeha, the big death back onto the little froggy, but Eternal Envy's trapped. The impetus damage up to the high ground as Dendi chases him down. Spirit Siphon forward, Axe from Fortune's ended through, but Envy's dead. And there's Ditira OD kept alive. Misery on the retreat away. Secret, oh my god, Puppy's trapped. He's stuck up on this ramp, but they did kill off the OD. At the very least, we are holding the high ground position. The damage over time.
Oh, that's going to be maybe another hero down too as Misery goes for the TP. Nabs him as well, and he just marching through. Weeha eventually gets there, lays down the poison. Nobody can breathe that air.
That Poison Nova.
Yeah, that actually just completely turned the fight for them. Navi felt like they had that one for a second. The OD didn't hold up though with the false promise, and even with that Chronosphere, they just could not capitalize. Puppy did such a good job of not getting doomed that he was able to find the outside edge, get the doom off onto the OD, mitigate a lot of the damage during the Chrono. And that was what won them the fight.
I mean, Ditira had BKB, he had the false promise, everything was thrown onto the OD, but you're right, the doom just meant there's no Arcane Orb, there's no Eclipse, there's nothing. After the initiation, after that sort of burst of cooldowns that Navi used, Exorcism and Chrono, both onto good targets, well timed, well placed. But my goodness, Weeha now level 14, that Poison Nova with the Veil and the Gale. I underestimated it, I think Navi underestimated it, but you can't do that. Eternal Envy, at this point, it feels like he's, you know, not necessarily a throwaway hero, but they don't mind too much if he dies, because they pile on so many cooldowns and waste a lot of time just killing off the poor little Drow Ranger.
Yeah, it actually takes so much for Navi just to kill anybody. Again, it's just, they have a lack of hard disables. It almost always comes down to just the fact that the Chronosphere has to hit multiple targets, and even then, if Puppy does what he did in the last fight, positions himself around the Chrono, gets the Doom off on the OD, that's a large chunk of your damage gone. And a lot of teams would actually focus on Dendi first, try to get rid of the DP ulti, but it almost feels like Secret are content at fighting around that. They just do not want this OD to get big in fights.
Navi may be feeling a little bit desperate. They've got the majority of their cooldowns back, and I think if they do take a team fight, Exorcism is back in 5 seconds. They've got everything. Their full arsenal returns to them. In Secret, Highlight Die. You were talking about, you know, his pretty decent item timings recently, even with this 5-roll Lion. He's got a Weeha's Bottle, 1500